So the first thing I'm going to do is just mark where I'm going to put my flowers and my stems, only just lightly. So with this one, I had a flower there, a flower there, a flower there, and just making the stems bend a bit and intertwine. Good word. And then I had a stem with a leaf. That's it. Just a very, very quick sketch, just so that you're not lost when you've got your paintbrush in hand going, what am I doing here? I'm starting off with a little bit of alizarin crimson, quite watery. And except for this bit, it's wet, but it's not too watery. And I'm going to put a cup there. And I'm going to wash my brush, and then with clean water, I'm just going to get hold of that and wiggle it out. Just wiggle it out and push the paint out. And a bit more clean water, and just touch the ends of it just to make it run a bit. And I'm putting some more alizarin crimson down the bottom there. And we move on to the next one. We do exactly the same again. So a cup to start off with. Just plain water and push it out. And then if you want a bit more plain water, just touch the edges so that they're not hard edges. And then, oh, well, that's not good. Oh, well, never mind. And the last one, a cup, clean water on a fairly wet brush, and push the flowers out. And is the flowers for that one. Well, apart from a little bit of titivating. And whilst that is still wet, I've got a nice, well, I think they call it olive green. I'm just going to use it. I'm not mixing it. And just touch the bottom where the stalk would meet the flower and pull it down to start it off. And with this one as well. And because it's wet, the flower, it will go into it. It will bleed into it and look natural. And we've got flowers now attached to their stalk. And we can bring the stalk down. So if you're going behind the flower, try not to touch it whilst it's still wet, otherwise you'll have green bits on the flower. So with that alizarin crimson and quite a heavy or a thick mix of it, we're just going to do some stamens on the top there. And I just put a little dot on it just to make it look as if they're and that's that bit done. stamens. I'm going to do the leaf. So the same green, but quite a watery mix, painting that leaf shape. We can just do the stem, and then with a little bit thicker of that green paint, paint the underside of the leaf, and it bleeds in. And you get a two-tone leaf. I lost my green bit there, so I'm just tapping in a bit more green. And that, you see, it's totally different to the last one, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Recording. Could you all please? Thank you. Okay, so cups. I have one there, one there. One there, and one there. And the leaf, probably. Have 2 leaves this time. You can have 3 flowers if you wish. I mean, that's fine. However many. And we're going to do almost the same, but not quite. And I'm going to use cobalt blue for a start. So a thickish mix of cobalt blue. And I'm going to do the cup. I'm using a smaller brush. Put enough paint in that cup. Then with a clean brush, pull it out. Just a clean brush and water pulled out from that cup.
Or you're using a thinner brush.
Oh. Okay, so the second one, do the cup. I put some inside the cup so that we've got plenty of paint. Clean brush with clean water. Pull the petals out. And then with a darker blue, and I use ultramarine, just put, actually I'm going to leave that bit for a while. Then we need the old green again. I'm still using olive green. Put a green bit there and the cone that joins the flowers. Green bit and the cone that joins the flowers, and come down into the stalk. My stalk disappears behind that flower, behind that leaf too. I'm going to do the other blue on the top in a minute. It's only just to differentiate or put shadow in between the petals. And I've got a leaf there. So it's quite a watery mix in the leaf. And again, just for a bit of shadow, and because we can, a little bit of dark on the underside edge. And then I've got another leaf there. These are not botanically correct. I'll just make that sure you understand that before we get any further. And a little bit of shadow on the underneath there. The blue should have dried for the second flower. So going into the, not too much water, and going into the darker blue, I'm just going to put a line of, just to differentiate, just to give you an idea that there's shadow in between those petals. So the last one we're going to do is this, which is a little bit more complicated, but not much. I've got pink, I've got yellow on my big brush and pink on my small brush.
Oh, not together then.
Off we go. So I'm going to tackle this flower first. So although I've drawn this wiggly bit on the top of the flower, don't take any notice of that, it's just a, so I'm going to draw a petal, paint a petal, and we all know what a petal looks like. So you paint that over to the left, and with your pink brush, you go round very carefully, just touching the sides, and it bleeds in. All right, so then we're going to have one in the middle. I'm going to leave that to dry just a little, and then one at this side here. And because I'm not drying that quick, I'm going to do exactly the same on this flower. So one on the left, one on the middle, and one on the right. And then with the pink, just basically drawing around the outline of those petals. And you also want to put in the veins, so a couple of lines down. And go round the petals. Some veins on the petals. Back to yellow brush and the bud. So you're going to just draw basically one petal upside down for each bud in the yellow. That would be like a teardrop. And you get the pink and you go round that. Pink going round. A bit more pink at the top and a bit more pink at the bottom. But just a little.
Oh.
Okay. Oh. We're going to leave that to dry. So I'm going to do the stalks. So again, the green bit on the flower and pull the stalk down. With this one the same. Decide whether it's going behind or in front. It's going behind that one. It's going behind that leaf and down. This one here, I'll do the stalk, but I'm going to do the leaf separate, and the same with this one. So we've got all the stalks in. And whilst this one is still wet, I'm going to do the little leaf thing that protects the bud whilst it's opening. It comes open. So it's just a sort of a V. It's being pushed open by the budding bud. Doesn't matter if it bleeds into it. That's probably good. And we might as well do the leaf whilst we're waiting for the rest to dry. So the leaf is as normal, wishy-washy green for the leaf, and a bit darker for the bottom edge. And we hope that I'm going to add another leaf in here. Exactly the same. You don't have to draw it in with pencil. You can just attach it. And the same underneath with the darker green. And now, making sure we don't put our hands in that, we go back to the yellow and pink job. Oh, wrong one.
I have to go now. Bye, everybody.
Okay, Nicole, bye.
It was very nice. Thank you very much, Susan.
You're welcome.
Bye. Bye.
I'm going to have some editing to do, aren't I? I might as well speak. Okay, so second petals. So we're going to start on this flower here, and we're going with the yellow. We're going to paint in a petal, and it's going to go over what's there before. And the same here. So I'm just doing a petal shape. It's going over what's at the bottom. And then we get the pink. Not too wishy-washy, otherwise it just goes everywhere. And we outline right the way down over the top. And the same with this one. And we do the next flower exactly the same way. So a petal goes in between those two, and it goes in between those two. It's a job to see them, but I have, and then we get the pink, and come down like that. The buds are treated a different way. Oh, and we also need, we need a bit of a pink, a bit of a flower, a petal coming off here. It's become a little bit detached. And I don't want it like coming up the other side. There. And the same with this one here. I'm just going to bring that out to the left on that one because there's room there. And across there. This doesn't look anywhere near as delicate, this one. I wonder what I've done wrong. Anyway, we'll keep going. It's not as delicate as it should be. I'm just putting in some. And for the buds, a little bit different. So to the side, slightly, just draw the same shape, but to one side. So one's off center. And again, with this one, I haven't left enough room here to really show what happens. And then with your pink, you go over that. So you've got like two. It's not very good. See, they don't always work out. I think my yellow's too dark, but let's see what we can do about that. And my pink's too orangey. I don't know. Oh, well, we'll leave it as it is. And that is what it should look like, is not that. Also,